Hello everyone, my name is Jim Cape and I'm going to show you a little bit about cutting a compound chess piece. What we're going to do is we're going to cut something like this, which is a pawn in the Canterbury chess set. You'll notice that it has one inside cut right there and two on that side. What we're going to do is we're going to put the raw piece of wood, this one that already has the pattern on it, already been drilled for the inside holes, and already has a little guide cut right there for the size of the chess piece. We're going to put that in the jig right here. And tighten that down. And then we're going to cut the inside holes. So, I've got my saw set up with a number 7 Olson Mach Speed blade. The saw is a DeWalt DW788 Type 1. Top feeding under this, and then I tighten it on the bottom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to saw down to here, and I'm going to grind a little area so I can put my blade in and cut the rest of the square. Alright, let me zoom it in a little bit. And we'll watch what happens. Alright, we got one square cut, and now we're going to unload the saw, put the blade in the other hole, and cut the other square, just like we did the first one. Notice I'm being very careful with the corners. I want a sharp corner, and I'm done. So I do a little bit of pre-grinding and whip it around. Now we got the two squares cut. Now one of the quality checks you can do, you widen this up a little bit here, is when you lift this up, the squares fall out easily. If they do, what that tells you is that you cut it straight and there's no bowing of the blade. Bowing of the blade can really mess up compound cuts because it's hard to get this stuff out if it's bowed on the inside. Alright, now we're getting started to roll this thing over, so we undo the jig. Turn it over. Now when we cut this other side here, these holes are going to create an area that is much thinner that the blade is cutting through. So we're going to go through an area, and then all of a sudden the blade is going to speed up in the feed rate. We have to be very careful there because we could easily blow through the pattern and ruin the piece. You'll notice that I put this in a different place in the jig this time. It's easier to put it in the center, and when I put it on the end, it didn't clamp it correctly, so we're doing it this way. It's also more difficult to feed blades on a compound cut because there's already holes there. So you can feed through one hole and then it'll catch on the next one. So it takes some patience. Alright, let's zoom this in and cut this side. Now I always like to start in a corner. Because if you start in a corner, it's hard for people later to tell because there's no line there, there's no joint. See the easier feed rate, and it actually twisted the blade a little bit. That frequently happens with different consistencies. Now I've got to make a sharp turn with easy feed, and then it slows down. There's the center. This is what we cut out of it. You can see where we had the two holes, the drill hole, and we cut it out of the middle. Lots of sawdust here. So let me take this out of the jig. So we've got this hole, we've got these two holes. Now all we got left to do is cut the outside. So, let me change jig here, because I've got one that's got a cutout in the center. This becomes important when we're cutting the outside of the piece.